All right, last set. Check number 61 through 65. '61 says Savannah is a speed walker. The graph below shows the distance she walked while training for a marathon. During which part of the walk did Savannah walk at the fastest speed? So we're talking about slope, right? Speed is a rate, slope is a rate. Basically, we're looking for the steepest part of the graph, okay? So if we look just at the graph, this part to me looks steeper than that. Now, if you wanted to double check, you can always double check with the slope. Here the slope is 12 miles in 2 minutes, which is 6 miles per minute. And here she went from what, to 12 to 20, that's 8 miles in 2 minutes, which is 4 miles per minute, right? So this is the steepest over here. Sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, so if you're not sure, always go back to the slope. So she went the fastest during her first 2 hours. All right, a scatter plot. The scatter plot below shows the daily high temperature and the number of hot cocoa sold by a cafe over a 3-week period. And we're going to use this scatter plot to answer some questions. Now, 62 asks for which of these points is an outlier. And remember, an outlier doesn't belong with the rest of the data. It sort of sticks out. It doesn't seem to match everything else. So if we look at these points, is there one that just doesn't match? Okay, there's a couple that are sort of in a weird spot, but look at this one down here. This one down here is way out of line, right? When it was 30 degrees that time, they only sold 2 cups of hot cocoa. That was highly unusual compared to the rest of the data. So 30, 30 degrees, 2 cups of hot cocoa would be an outlier. Now, the next question says, which best describes the association? So we're looking for a positive association, a negative association, no association. Notice that they tend to, we could sort of draw a line through these that would sort of cut it in half, right? So they've got sort of a linear shape. What it means here when it says nonlinear, there are other shapes. It could do like this. That would be a quadratic shape. It could be an exponential shape or exponential this way. We'll talk more about those later this year. But this tends to be in the shape of a line. What kind of slope would that line have? It would have negative slope, right? So this has a negative linear association. '64 says, which of the following graphs represents the correct location of a line of best fit? So we've got these scatter plots, we've got this data. Which one is the best shape of a line? Well, obviously, the ones that don't even go in the same direction of the line, no good, right? So really, we're just comparing this one with this one. And remember, that line of best fit sort of needs to cut the data in half. It sort of needs to go right through the middle of the data. So is that going to be A or is that going to be D? D tends to go right through the middle of the data, right? This line right here is a little below the data, so this is a better choice. All right, last one. Last year, Kelly bought a new computer. He collected pairs of data in a scatter plot to help him understand how the value of a computer changes over time. He used the scatter plot below. What is the equation of the line of best fit written in slope-intercept form? So he's actually drawn in the line of best fit, and we've got to come up with the equation. Okay, so what are the 2 things we need? We need M, we need B. So when we look at this, we've got B, right? Where does this line cross the y-axis? It crosses it at 800. So we already know that B is 800. Does that mean we can eliminate anything? Yes, gone, gone. Now, we look at the type of slope. It has negative slope. Do both of these have a negative slope? Yes, bummer, we can't eliminate anything. So we really need to find the slope. So we're going to have, we got 2 points here. What have we got? The point 2, 500. And what are the coordinates of this point? 4, 200. So we're going to find our slope, change in y over change in x, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What do we get? 200 minus 500 over 4 minus 2. So I get negative 300 over 2. That's negative 150. Negative 150. Just negative 150. So that means m is negative 150. When I put that in slope-intercept form, I get A. Congratulations, you have finished your review.